Hello, Goslings, and welcome to my spring live stream. I hope you're doing well. Today we'll be going over some flowers and their different meanings, and then from there I will go over some ghost stories. So I hope you're excited and are ready for some spooky times, Goslings. Boop. Let me just go back to the Reddit. Scroll down a bit. Alright, now let's talk about the flowers. Now on TikTok I covered half of this list, and now we're going to cover the second half of these flowers. The goal is to find a flower for my girlfriend for spring, because spring showers bring May depression, and then a flower maybe for my mom, because, she's often mad at me, so flowers would probably help. Oh, hello, Site 42. Well, ghostly greetings. I'm so glad you're here. Well, I just finished saying we're going to go over some flowers and what they mean. So we're starting with the hydrangea, which means thank you for your understanding, fragility, and heartlessness. That feels like a weird mixed message. Thank you for understanding, but also at the same time you're a heartless monster. I mean, that would be good for my mom. She is indeed heartless. But I don't want to say thank you for the understanding. I just want to say, you suck. So, we will not be getting a hydrangea, I guess. An iris. Your friendship means so much to me. Oh, I get you that. Well, I get you that, Site 42. An iris. For your friendship means so much to me. Faith and hope. So you can give this to your friend and hope they will become a better friend for it. Or they'll become worse. We'll decide later. Next we have an ivy. I actually have a plant ivy. I got it from someone. Let's see what it means. Wedded love, fertility, friendship, and affection. Oh, who knew ivy meant friendship? Oh, well, that was so nice that I got an ivy then. Next is a jonquil. It says, love me, affection returned, desire, sympathy, desire for attention, affection returned. So you give this flower to somebody who, I guess, if you're not sure or you have affection for, you say, take this flower, you must like me, right? And stare at them like this, I guess, until they say yes. Or they throw the flower back at you. A larkspur means fickleness. I know many friends who would get that flower because they're very fickle. Right, Bob the ghost? He's not even here, that's how fickle he is. He said he would join me. A lilac means old love. Isn't that sweet? You give that only to young people. Don't let the flower tell you who you give that to. We have a lily, also tiger lily, and the lily has different colors, apparently. So an orange means hatred. It means you hate someone. White means virginity, purity, majesty. It's heavenly to be with you. A white lily carries a lot of meaning. And then the yellow lily means I'm walking on air or false. That's quite interesting. You give someone yellow lily, you're basically saying, you're fake! That's what they should do with reveals in movies. Instead of a mirror revealing the secrets, you should just give a yellow lily to say, you're false. I like that. Lily of the valley, sweetness, return to happiness, humility, you've made my life complete. Whoa, you've made my life complete. Could you imagine giving someone a flower and then saying, this means you've made my life complete? That's pretty heavy. A magnolia means nobility. Obviously, I don't have any of those here because I am not noble. Or if I was, I'm a secret noble. Marigold means cruelty, grief, and jealousy. Whoa, I thought marigolds were nice. But apparently, it means cruelty. So if you have a friend or a partner who has marigolds, you better run. It means they are cruel, they cause grief, and they're probably jealous. Alright, a mistletoe means kiss me / affection. Why are they only at Christmas then? We're only allowed to kiss people at Christmas? That's a good rule, actually. Oh, shocked him face, Site 42. Why are you shocked? Do you know someone has marigolds? I don't know. Oh, okay. We don't need to know. That was shocking enough. A mock orange means deceit. So, my mother has a lot of mock orange in her house, so obviously she's trying to deceive me. But with what? Who knows? Who can say? A monk shoot means beware, a deadly foe is near. They should have that for boss fights in video games. Or when you go to work. If you were a boss, you put a monk should, and people will be afraid of you. I should go on. Moss means maternal love / charity. That's nice. Is that why moss grows on trees? Because that represents charity? The earth, the trees giving us oxygen? Oh yeah, I guess in my mind, the moss came after the meaning, or whatever. Myrtle means love. Hebrew emblem of marriage. There's a lot of emblems for marriage and motherhood and all that stuff. Where's the emblem of ghost hunting? A single red rose, perhaps? A narcissist. Well, I'm sure you can guess this one. Egotism, formality, stay as sweet as you are. What? So, you either really love somebody and you say, you're sweet, stay that way, or you mean you're an egotistic maniac. I love flowers that have two very different meanings because I love making people squirm a little bit, making them a little uncomfortable. Next we have Nosturium, conquest, victory, and battle. There's a lot of flowers that represent victory and such. It's very interesting. Orange blossom means innocence, eternal love, marriage, and fruitfulness. You can put an orange blossom by your orange tree and just have oranges all the time. An orchid means love, beauty, refinement, beautiful lady, and a Chinese symbol for many children. Oh. What is the Chinese symbol for one child? You don't get an orchid. You don't get any plants. You have to have many, I guess. A peony means shame. Here we go. It means shame or happy life. Which is it? Are you ashamed of me? My mother would give me this for shame, but I might take it as a happy life. A petunia means resentment, anger, or your presence soothes me. What is it? What does this mean? Why are they so aggressively different? Side 42, it doesn't make sense. Next we have a pine, means hope and pity. I like the idea you'd be hopeful of someone, but you can also pity them. It seems kind of sad. Poppy means eternal sleep. Okay. Oblivion and imagination. A basic poppy. A red poppy means pleasure. A white poppy means consolation. And a yellow poppy means wealth and success. A primrose means I can't live without you. I would not give that to my girlfriend because I can't live without her. In fact, I wish she would leave. Rosebud, beauty and you, a heart of innocence. Oh, that's nice. A red rosebud is a pure and lovely. A white rosebud means good, and a moss rosebud means confessions of love. You put a moss, instead of a speaker, we should have a moss rosebud and bud, and then you can say all your confessions. Oh, the rose. The rose apparently has many, many different meanings depending on the different colors. So a pink rose means perfect happiness. Please believe me. It seems like the kind of rose you'd get when someone's really ticked off at you. Red, love, easy. Dark crimson, mourning. Ooh, I want dark crimson roses at all my funerals. Yellow, decrease of love, jealousy, try to care. Oh, the yellow rose is sassy. The yellow rose is a threat. It's saying, I don't love you anymore, but you better change that. White, innocent purity, I'm worthy of you. You're heavenly. Serenity and silence. What is your favorite handgun and rifle? Now, I don't know how to use a handgun or a rifle. They're both pretty spooky to me. So, I like the old-timey ones where you could only fire one. Those seemed a lot safer. White and red mixed is a utility. White dried means death is preferable to loss of virtue. Oh, that is most sassy. You think you've lost your virtue? Put these down. Your death would be preferable. That's crazy. White and withered means fleeting beauty. Oh, I'm giving that to my mom. Tea-colored rose. I'll remember you always. That's nice. A damask rose is the Persian ambassador of love. A thornless rose means love at first sight. A leaf, you may hope, and a bouquet of mature blooms means gratitude. Whew, these roses mean a lot more than I thought they would. A smilax means loveliness. A snapdragon means deception. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this, but in the movie Coraline, the other mother uses snapdragons. It was a sign she was telling us she was deceptive. We should have listened. A stephanotis means happiness in marriage. A lot of happy marriages. Makes me suspicious. Stock, bonds of affection, or promptness. You'll always be beautiful to me. And here I'm thinking flowers as a starter pet. I thought the same. I thought flowers were crunchy and tasty and looked nice on the windowsill. But it turns out they have so many different meanings that you could offend a lot of people really easily or be really nice. Sweet pea means goodbye. Little did I know, apparently a lot of meanings and apparently based on different colors. Sweet pea means goodbye, so if you're going to break up with someone, give them a big old sweet pea. A tiger lily means wealth and pride. A tulip, perfect lover. Whoa, that's a pretty big deal. And the red tulip means believe me, declaration of love. A yellow tulip means there's sunshine in your smile. Oh, that's cute. And how do you say it? Variegated means beautiful eyes. Nice indeed. Violet means modesty. So if you have a violet flower, it means you're modest. A blue violet means watchfulness, faithfulness, and I'll always be there. Another always be there. We should have had a meeting and not had so many overlaps. Wisteria means will you dance with me, which seems weird if you were to drop that flower off at someone's house and you're just saying, will you dance with me? Do you mean right now or in the future or never? These are difficult questions to ask. Zinnia apparently has no basic meaning, but the different colors, magenta color means lasting affection provider, which is a weird way of saying that, but okay. A mixed zinnia means thinking or in a memory of an absent friend. Oh, absent as in dead or absent as in lost. A scarlet one means consistency, and white means goodness. White apparently always means love, innocence, and all that stuff. Bonus symbolism. A bouquet of withered flowers means rejected love. Oh, you show up with withered flowers, you're sending a very direct message. And dead leaves mean sadness. I like dead leaves because it reminds me of fall and Halloween, but I understand that it would be sad maybe. It's the end of something. What do you think, Site 42? Or dead leaves sad or a sign of great things to come? All right. Now that's all the flowers and different meanings. I hope we enjoyed that. I think, personally, I'm going to give my girlfriend the monk's hood, to tell her, beware, a deadly foe is near, to make her scared and break up with me. And for my mother, I'm going to give... I do like my mother, but she is a little cruel to me. So, I would say... a snapdragon. It means deception and gracious lady, which she is gracious, but she's also very deceptive. All right, let's move on to some Reddit ghost stories, and we can decide whether or not they are truly true, or if they're just a little boring. Thumbs up. Oh, I'm glad you're excited. All right, this one is Hotel Ghost. Now, it comes from cool_collection 7256. It was 2006. My daughter, 16, now 31, thanks for doing the math, was an all-star cheerleader. Spooky stories. Spooky ooky, pooky dooky, many ghostly ories. Reddit stories. Was an all-star cheerleader, which meant we traveled for competitions across the U.S. We were living in Maryland at the time and headed to Ohio. I decided to drive instead of fly. It was way cheaper. And we drove 8 hours or so, crossed the border into Ohio, and stayed in a hotel. Then we'd get up early and drive 2 hours to comp. The hotel was only a few years old, and soon as we entered the room, my daughter looked around, heads to the bathroom, walks out, and says, "I don't like this room." So, of course, I'm Mom, and she mentioned how new the hotel it is. It was nice, clean, and honestly, I didn't get it. I couldn't understand why she didn't like it, because that's all she said several times. Anyway, we went to eat and came back to go to bed. Again, she says she doesn't like the room, and I'm thinking, teenagers! They put exclamation mark in quotations, so you have to say it like that. And oddly, she's using the bathroom with the door open, telling me not to walk in. Again, teenagers! As usual, I watch TV until I fall asleep, and she is already sleeping. I wish I could fall asleep that fast. I like this Reddit post. They keep adding their own little comments in. It makes it more fun. Later, I turn off the TV as the sleep is headed my way when I hear her rustle in those new, crisp sheets. Okay, we get there new. Focus on the ghost story, woman. Then again, it was loud and crisp, almost like a whoosh sound. I figured she was pulling those tightly tucked sheets out. I'm laying on my left side on her bed on my right when the whoosh happens again. So I turn to see what she's doing when I hear the whoosh going straight between our beds, crisp as can be. What does this even mean, crisp as can be? And there, between our beds, is what I think is my daughter standing with the sheets over her head. I'm thinking, what the heck is she doing? That's pretty spooky. Let's assume it is the daughter. Let's hope so. I quickly realize it can't be her because it's almost to the ceiling. That's pretty spooky. And there's nothing under the sheet like human structure when suddenly it drops to the floor fast, making a whooshing sound as it did a rippling effect. Average cartoon ghost, you got it, sight. I was so freaked out, I sat up super fast, trembling, scared, confused. Turning the light on, there's Christine, her daughter, and sleeping in her bed. I didn't know what to do. I turned the TV on, and when it was fully illuminated, turned off the light as it was starting to wake her. I was frozen in my bed. There's no way I was getting out to look around at that point. The TV would stay on all night. I was so scared. My heart was pounding, my breath erratic. It took me a while to calm down. I stayed awake a long time, my eyes constantly surveying the room. When I finally fell asleep, a depression on the corner of my bed, like someone sitting down, woke me. This place is super duper ghostly haunted. I thought maybe it was Christy. Why would you? We've already had the cartoon ghost encounter. I would be out. I'd be talking to the ghost. But as a regular pedestrian, you should be fleeing. Again, I'm awake, then fall back asleep. I would not be sleeping. I would be terrified. Early in the morning, before the alarm would sound, I felt someone bending down to me. Like, I could feel that without hearing a type of music. I would get a vacuum. That's good. And then a kiss is planted on my cheek. I freeze, pop my eyes open. Nothing is there. Nothing. It wasn't my daughter. At that point, it's time to leave. Yeah, I would have left after the cartoon ghost incident. I wouldn't have stayed to have a stranger sit on my bed. Zesty ghost indeed. So I wake my daughter, and she said something to the effect of, "Good, I'm ready to leave." We go to the lobby with our bags and breakfast. It was 6 a.m. While we're at the table, she says to me that she had a terrible night. I kept her up. Now I feel bad, and I apologize for the TV when she asks why did I keep sitting on her bed during the night. And why the heck did I kiss her cheek in the morning? Oh my goodness. This person goes, "Excuse me, what?" This happened to her too. We sat there discussing what the depression felt like. The kiss a man? How do you know it's a man? And I think she thought I was messing with her. Well, if you assumed it was your mother, why do you now assume it's a man? So I tell her about the crisp sheet thing. Right, and of course, you tell her about the crisp sheet. Yeah, eyebrow indeed. Rising and falling, and then she blurts out, "I told you I didn't like this room. I knew it was bad." It was at that point that I realized she didn't like the room, not because she was a moody teenager, but because she felt something I did not. Really? Now you figure it out? She told me she walked into the bathroom right away and she felt as if someone had died there, that they had taken their own life, that it was dark and foreboding, and that's why she didn't close the door when she was there. But what she hadn't clarified to me why she hated the room so much. Honestly, she had told me I would have changed rooms, but here's the creepier part. As we discuss this, I see a girl at the front desk and decide to go over and ask her if the hotel is haunted. Bold choice. Now, this was a new hotel, but I did it anyway. The clerk said, "The room you are in." "What room are you in?" I answered, and she stood still, looked at me, and walked my way into the back room, and never came out again. What? I mean, I stood there for 5 minutes, nothing. We gathered our things to leave, and she still hasn't come back. When we were walking out the sliding doors, I saw her head peek out. There's a spooky cartoon ghost dancing in front of my window. Maybe it's the ghost from this hotel. He heard about your window, wanted to check it out. So bizarre. Was she messing with me? Who knows? I don't have a lot of paranormal experiences, but the one I've had stuck with me. I did not feel any foreboding or darkness in the room. It simply scared the ghostness out of me. Chrissy definitely locked into something I could not sense upon arrival, but I always thought to myself to be sensitive. I've told this story to many people, but Chrissy does not like hearing it at all. She won't discuss it. To her, it's over and done. But the truth is, we know it scared the daylights out of her, too. That's why she doesn't want to relive it. Well, I mean, it happened so long ago. Apparently, the hotel does not exist anymore, so that's pretty spooky. I enjoyed that story overall. I thought it was, well, amusing that she would often bring up the crisp sheets. I didn't know crisp sheets were that important, but here we are talking about them incessantly. I think that's a true story. I like spaghetti. Spaghetti is delicious, I will give you that. But I don't know. I want to believe this story. It's a good level of spooky, but we'll see. This story comes from, this one's complicated. Shomai, whatever. It's a name. The house I grew up in was haunted, and here are some of my stories. Ooh, I'm excited. I recently watched a video on YouTube that reminded me of things that happened to me as a kid. It's something I think about often, trying to think of anything that could possibly explain what I saw and experienced. I was just a kid, around 6 or so, when I had my first experience with something unexplainable. I was cleaning up my room and had lots of toys laying around. I remember I had a pair of plastic handcuffs why would you have a pair of plastic handcuffs that were lying on the ground? And I was walking toward them to pick them up, when all of a sudden they sort of jumped at me, like someone had picked up one of the cuffs and tossed them a little bit, almost like a frog would jump. It was extremely bizarre, and I still remember it because I have no idea how it happened. No one else was touching it, nothing. I still think about that a lot. That is pretty spooky, but let's say if you have plastic handcuffs, they might be liable to jump at you. That just might happen. This next story, I was maybe a few years older. Our house cuffs wanted to dance. You got it, Site 42. Not a ghost. The cuffs have a sentient will. They want to party. Our house had an unfinished basement, and all there really was 2x4 walls with no sheetrock, so you could walk in between the rooms if you wanted. Now that's spooky. What if you got trapped? And as soon as you got to the bottom of the stairs, there was a hallway to the right if you walked down to get to the room where we had a TV set up in. We would play on our PlayStation all the time. It was pretty late in the evening, and the only light was from the TV we were using. That's pretty spooky. No, a lot of ghost stories start with people playing video games or watching a show and the lights illuminate their eyes to look spookier. Ooh, spooky TV. I don't know if the TV will be spooky, but it will help to the ambiance. We had the TV set up, so when you looked over to your right, you could see down the hall that leads to the stairs. That would be terrifying. I don't like that at all. At some point, I looked over down the hall. The garage. Oh, maybe it is a garage ghost. At some point, I looked over down the hall, which was pitch black, and I thought I saw the silhouette of my twin brother. It would have been nice if you introduced this twin character earlier. I said, "Hey, and so, can you turn on the light?" Because the light switch was right there. My guess is the ghost is going to disappear. What do you think? He didn't say anything, so I asked him again, "Hey, can you turn on the lights?" Then I saw the silhouette move from the entrance of the hallway to the room where the TV was. As it moved through, it was getting bigger, like the size of an adult. Then it proceeded to move behind the TV. First of all, if some creature, shadow person, starts moving towards you, you run! You don't stand there staring, waiting for it to go behind the TV! Then it just sank behind it and vanished. I freaked out, as did my older brother. When we booked it upstairs, I would have booked it many moments earlier to find my twin brother with my mom upstairs. Of course, it wasn't your twin brother. Some years later, we had a PC set up down there as well. I remember one night my brother running upstairs to find me, asking if I was down there because, while he was on the computer, he heard breathing behind him. Ooh. Sonic Dot, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Sonic out of there. Sorry. He heard something behind him. I can't say how true it was because it wasn't my experience, but I believe he did hear something, yeah. The worst is when you're trying to make dinner or bake or something, and a ghost goes up behind you and starts breathing aggressively. It's like, I'm trying to concentrate. Please leave me alone, Mr. Ghost. Another time, I went down the stairs and took a right to take the walk down the hallway. As soon as I turned to look down the hallway, there appeared to be a pair of glowing eyes that looked like they just opened. I remember the feeling of pure dread. Ooh, ghost got me. That's good. But I remember a feeling of pure dread that almost made me vomit at how scary it was. I immediately booked it up the stairs. That does sound pretty spooky. I don't like glowing eyes. That makes me uncomfortable. No offense, Mr. Ghost, but that's spooky. Now, when I was younger, I would sleepwalk a lot. Another fun tidbit you left out till now. Not sure why. I certainly do not do it nowadays. But I would sleepwalk. I would never vomit from scare. No, that's a weird reaction. I get the anxiety, but if I'm scared, I'm not anxious. You know what I mean, Ghostling? You know what I mean, Site 42? But I would sleepwalk, and I would wake up in the basement every time. It was very creepy. Of course you would. That seems a little too perfect. Now, when I was younger, and when I got older, I thought maybe if I'm scared, I punch or run. Correct reactions. When I got older, I thought maybe it was all in my head. Things did die down a bit when I was in my teenage years. Usually they ramp up because of hormones and changing and heightened emotions. But when I was 18, I had another experience I can't really explain. I was sitting in my dining room one evening, and I was by myself, just on the family computer we had set up there. It was near the stairwell that led to the basement, when all of a sudden I started hearing voices. Voices that sounded like they were coming from the basement. Of course they would. I really had to question myself if it was just in my head. Am I hearing this right? So I got closer to the stairwell, and it was certain it was coming from down there. It was about half an hour before it stopped. I couldn't make out any words. It just sounded like someone was whispering things that I couldn't make out. Once again, ghosts are gossiping about you in front of you. Well, ghosts love to do that. As a human being, I don't do that. We moved out very shortly after that, and I never experienced anything paranormal since. I'm 100% convinced my childhood home was haunted. Now, what do you think, Site 42? Do you think this is a true ghost story? I do believe that it is true. That house sounded pretty haunted, and it seems the ghosts were mad that they tore up the basement. It happens, ghosts. You gotta get over it. But I think it's true. I thank that person for sharing that story. Alright, I think we'll do 2 more ghost stories, and we'll call it for today. This one comes from Untimely Toaster Death, which is hilarious but so sad a name. It's called Friendly Ghost. It seems I found the right place to share this. Now, I don't like to propagate that ghosts are friendly, because ghosts are not friendly, they are evil, and you need to get rid of them. That's why you need to call me. Regardless, I had 2 different experiences which I suspect to be the same entity. The first occurrence happened sometime in June when I was lying on the couch. I had woken up from a nap and was about to go to the bathroom. Then the feelings of arms wrapping around me prevented me from going up there. Ooh. A distinct male voice began whispering in my ear. I couldn't understand what the voice was saying, but it sounded jumbled up, like it was divided and trying to put itself together. The only thing that came through was, I love you and we'll be together in a year. I wasn't scared. I would be terrified. I don't like the idea of someone coming up behind me, grabbing me and saying, I'll be together in a year. Because that could mean if you are human, if you are alive, like most people, me included, I don't want to be joining a ghost in a year. I don't want to join a ghost ever for a very long time. I was trying to figure out the logistics of everything because this entity was embracing me from the back of the couch, where the couch is. And I'm wondering how the heck it's doing that. So I laid there until the urge to use the toilet outweighed trying to logic a possible ghost. So that's it. He just went to the washroom. They went to the washroom. Okay. Anticlimactic ending. The second occurrence happened a month later as I was about to fall asleep. I was facing the window. Spooky occurrence going to happen. Just say it. Back towards the main area of my room. I slept on a queen-size air mattress. That seems sad. In the middle on the sweet spot. If you know, you know. Oh, do you know? I don't know. The same... just as I dozed off, I felt the edge of my bed lower as someone was going in next to me. The same male energy loomed over me, waking me, constantly irritating me. I ended up telling it to go away because I was not in the mood. I don't like being woken up from sleep. I hardly get. Who enjoys being woken up at all? I haven't experienced since then. Oh, okay. You told the ghost to leave, and he did. He understood your boundary. I told my neighbor down the block what happened. She told me she believed that the house complex... I get tickled while peeing once. That would be annoying if a ghost did that. Cancel the ghost. Destroy the ghost. Call me and I'll destroy it for you. I told the neighbor down the block, apparently the complex is haunted. It was built in 1959. She had several experiences of her own. On a separate occasion, my next-door neighbor mentioned in passing that someone died in my house before I moved in. I didn't tell him about what I encountered. Why wouldn't you? I'm not sure what the ghost was trying to communicate with me. Maybe it was a residual haunting. Probably. I don't know. I didn't sense anything hostile. Occasionally there's a feeling of being watched, but it's not creepy or scary. I do think a residual haunting, or at least a ghost, seemed to be remembering some moments. I think the bed truly tried to connect with this person, but in the end, your rejection hurt the ghost too much that it doesn't know what to do anymore. Yes, I think the ghost does want love. It never got in life, but here we are. All right, our final story comes from Coco123_. I think my house has been haunted and ghost stuff. I'm ready for the ghost stuff. I don't know if this is real, but I think there's a ghost in my house or something. They're not harming anyone, but it's kind of distracting. I don't know if they're hanging around my room or they haunt other rooms. The only thing that makes me believe they exist is that no matter how tight I close the door, they always know how to open it. I got the vacuum ready. This is also impressive because my door is just a regular door that has a handle for you to open and close, but my door it is not like that. It is very thick and a heavy door that cannot be swayed by a small whirlwind. Okay. At first, I thought it was just my cat, but eventually I spotted it automatically open when I was with her. So I suspected the house had been haunted, but not with an evil spirit/demon or something like that, but just harmless and a rather annoying spirit. Could you imagine immediately your door opens and you immediately assume it's a demon? We are not Ghost Adventures here. We don't just jump to demon. Or it might be one spirit that cat is ghost. That's an explanation. It also could be a ghost that has followed me for a very long time, I guess. It maybe looks like a story made up for views. If you're posting on Reddit, you're not getting many views. I'm the main one giving you these views at the moment. In my country, we have a culture that you go to pagodas to wish a happy new year. My mom take me to a house which has a very old man that claimed to be a person that can see and talk to ghosts and stuff like that. It wasn't me. Just to clarify. I'm so sorry, I don't know what they're called. He told me that I have the spirit of a little boy that's followed me for 3 years. Don't appreciate that. And it kind of like me because I got no friends and pretty much talking by myself that I attracted this little ghost. And if I want this ghost to be gone, then I have to talk and interact with many people. I don't know if this ghost has a criteria to be your friend. It can be your friend, or if you have too many friends, it will not be your friend. That's probably why I have so many ghost friends, because I have no friends. That's still in progress because here I am. I just had to pick up a fight with a girl in my class. Maybe that has strengthened the ghost's ability to do physical stuff. But that's just my theory. Maybe I'm not a little ghost. Maybe that, not the little ghost. This sounds like a child wrote this. This is hard to read. Maybe it's another ghost, but who knows? But at least I'm not alone. I have to beat myself in. Exactly. That, I don't know if I believe that. I don't think a ghost will attach yourself because you have no friends in order to be your friend. That seems kind of crazy. But maybe it's true and maybe it's not. I don't know. One of the ghosts is looking at me now and he's shrugging. He's confused. He doesn't want to be my friend on a good day, let alone if I had no friends. So I get the message, Mike. You don't have to be so mean. I no believe. Thanks. I don't believe the story either. It seems too strange to demand some social anxiety to have no ghost. All right, thank you so much, for joining me for this whole live stream. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you're here, and thank you for all the support. And I hope you're doing extremely well. I missed your comments, but I'm so grateful you came to the stream, and I'm so grateful you subscribed, and I'm so glad to always have you here. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you here later for more ghostly content. Farewell, and be sure to say hi to your ghosts and make friends, lest a child ghost becomes your new best friend, which might be a good thing. Thanks, Sight. Farewell. Goodbye.